All right, GrindWorks podcast, episode 63, coming at you from, I guess, theoretically the new studio, but it is horribly set up at the moment. And we got Jake the Hippie in the house.
What up? That was very unclimactic of a high, but
Well,
whatever.
what do you mean?
I don't know.
What up?
Yeah, just what?
Well, I mean, what would Jake the Hippie fans expect?
I don't know. Do I have fans?
I think Jake the Hippie has a fan base.
I guess. I don't fucking know.
Think you got like an interesting niche market of people that like you've got like an array of different types of followers. You've got just your friends.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You've got people that love to hate on you. It's maybe not as much with the new account, but there was a period of time.
People fucking hated me.
Dude, and then you've got we'll come back to that. I'll just hold your thought for 1 second. We've got people that are confused by you.
Yeah.
And then there's just like others, I think.
Okay, going to bed.
Okay, we're recording a podcast.
That's nice.
Would you like to be on?
No.
All right, well, I'm not cutting it out either.
Fuck you.
So, yeah, and then I think just others. So you've got like that was handful, but all right, you were starting to say something about the people that hate you.
Oh yeah, like you did a fucking I don't know, Behringer grind, fucking dumb, fucking can't fucking do anything right, or just come up with some stupid like reason of like why this doesn't count or like doesn't really matter.
Well, and then I think there's an element of some of the things you do or we're doing where you would intentionally call things the wrong thing just to get more comments and engagement.
100%.
Like, I know there were a handful of clips at maybe your peak fame where you would double peg a ledge, land, ride like 5 feet, then do a 180 and it pegs hard.
I remember that.
And just the comments were,
it doesn't count. You hit your tires hit the ground.
You're supposed to 180 out of the grind, idiot. And you're like, yeah, I know this, but you're commenting on my post.
So therefore, you're just making my account grow even more by commenting.
Right.
And then you're going to get more people riled up, and then those people are going to comment, and then it's just going to turn into a fucking frenzy. It's kind of like a rodeo peanut.
Right, except like you're making fun of yourself in a way.
Exactly.
But, I know there were some comments on there and questions like, does he know or does he not know?
Which I knew all along. I just played it off.
Yeah.
You fools.
Oh, you had like a handful of things you were doing. That was one of them. Then everyone else was calling their stuff. Was it? What were you calling all your clips?
Oh no! Like it started like because I got that came from like Eric Alstrian. The rest was stranger, all pegless, where it would be like hamburgers or hot dogs, whatever the hell would be.
Oh yeah, you were calling them burgers.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was nuggets. Everyone was calling them nuggets, and you're like calling them burgers.
Yeah.
That was good. It was good times on the old Instagram.
Oh yeah, that's like high school, like freshman me, maybe. I think it was either freshman me or like middle school going into freshman year.
Yep. Well, so how old are you right now?
25.
That's what I thought. I was figuring
I think I'm 25.
It's like, you were like 17 when we had the ice house.
16, 17, around there. Yeah.
So, yeah, that tracks about right. I'm like, I know you were like close to graduating or just graduating right around that
Because I
time.
remember Zach and Max and all of them had their licenses. I did not have my license at all at that point, or even close to it.
Are you sure? I vaguely remember right about the time we were getting rid of the ice house. So we had it in 16 and 17. In 17, I swear you drove up yourself a couple times towards the end.
I know in 17 I think it was
Might
it
have
was
been
17.
on a permit.
Yeah, it might have been more likely than not was a permit, because I was driving my parents' truck at the time, in which I learned how to do basically everything in there, including hooning.
Yeah. All right, go on more. Or are you trying to not self-incriminate?
I don't want to self-incriminate.
All right, so you definitely never went hooning in your parents' truck.
No, I never did donuts or burnouts or nothing. No hood rat stuff in it.
All right, well, what if allegedly you ever had? What would you have done?
God damn it. Street racing would be possibly one of them.
Okay.
Not saying that, a V6 Tacoma is fast by any means necessary, but, well, I mean, it isn't. But for a 17-year-old kid with just learning how to drive, it can be kind of fast.
Allegedly, it would go fast.
Yeah, allegedly would go fast. Allegedly can do donuts. Allegedly can drift. Allegedly. But, not say I never did any of that, but allegedly I might have done them.
Fair.
When did I meet you?
So, it probably would have been... If we had the ice house in 16, it would have been sometime in 2014, 2015. Because I moved to Pittsburgh in 2014.
Because I think I remember you knew me beforehand, like before I officially knew who you were.
Yeah.
I think you knew me through Max and Zach and all them. Because I met you up at Peach, and then you told me about the GrindWorks jam.
Probably.
It was what was the one kid's name? Chris, something like it. He was a bigger dude.
Trying to think who you're talking about right now.
I honestly don't forget his name. He does triathlons and everything now. Doesn't really ride anymore. But he would do crank flip pegs, 1-footer can lander on.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. Yeah, Andrew Miller was in town.
That's exactly who that was.
Yeah. So we were riding. He was in town for the jam and just hanging out, I think.
Yeah. And then you guys brought that up, and I was like, oh, okay. Well, let me talk to my parents, see if they're okay with it, because I mean, MLK is kind of in the ghettos.
Allegedly,
kind of in the ghetto.
There's definitely not homeless people there every day, nonstop. They definitely don't sleep there.
There's allegedly not heroin needles just laying out there sometimes, or bums just begging for money.
Oh man, you really got hosed by the Instagram thing. You don't even have 500 followers now. You had thousands on your old account.
And the other thing that had me pissed off about that is GT Bikes was following me on that original account. That's what
So what group did they fall in? If we're talking about groups of your followers, and maybe the ones that were confused by you. like, is this guy? Because some of the stuff you do is, but skill levels, everything aside, whatever.
Yeah.
Good for where you're at and your capabilities. Other stuff is like, that was like really interesting.
Yeah.
And I think, like, I know a couple of people that have texted me over the years, like, what's his deal? Because on one hand, I don't know if he's like a genius or just not
All there.
all there. And maybe a little bit of both, Jake. I don't know.
I don't know either. Because, like, since I've been around with, like, Boots and Nadine and all of them lately, Boots, he got me to do the railhead pitcher.
Mm-hmm.
And I was, bitching, like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I don't want to nut myself on this thing. Because, if you loop out, you're done.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, just don't be a bitch and do it. Okay. Wynn did it. And no problem.
Sometimes that's all you need. And I think we talked about that back at the ice house, is like, you needed someone to say, no, do it again.
Exactly.
Because, nothing bad about Neil, but Neil would not tell you do it again. Neil would be like, oh, that was sick, Jake. And then you post something and you're like, you're probably even looking through it later going, dude, you should have said do it again. Come on, man. Like, you're not helping me out if you're letting me get away with garbage.
Yeah.
But whatever. I mean, it kind of played into what you're doing anyway.
Yeah. But, like, now I'm really just trying to focus more on, like, progressing. Like, whether it's ride transition where I'll just air chord or whatever, it's progressing nonetheless. But I'm just trying to more focus on progression clips than, like, peg bunking around and trying to loiter people in. Which, I mean, not gonna lie, that is kind of how I got a lot of the followers, because just
it is
clickbaiting.
Well, so I don't know if I told you this or not at the time. Like 2016 or so, I think we had the ice house. We went out to a jam in Bethlehem, and at that point, I don't think you'd ever been to Bethlehem.
Nah.
There's a kid, actually a crew. And the one goes to double peg this ledge, and he came off and his back peg stayed on. And I heard the one kid say to the other, you just did a Jake the Hippie grind. And I'm like, whoa, Jake is like spreading, People know who Jake is.
Right. Like, even when I go to, like, out here, people knew who I was. I mean, like, Duke, I know who he is. Sam, I think that's what his name is, right? The one with the van?
Cam.
Yeah, Cam. I called him Sam. He just went with it, or, like, even the other randoms that were there somehow knew me. And I had no clue who any of them really were. And I'm just like, hey, what's up?
Yeah.
I don't know who you are, but, like, with your Instagram, I might ring a bell.
Well, and it's tough too, because like with the wheel mill, you have so many people that pass through, and you have the same thing I do, where you meet so many people that you're never gonna have to speak to again. That, like, names don't matter.
Yeah.
Names don't register in my head. Like, I'll recognize you, I'll recognize your bike, I'll recognize, like, maybe the way you ride, and I'll be like, oh, I know I rode with you in this city 4 years ago.
Yeah.
But I could not tell you your name ever. And I'll meet someone like 6 times, and at some point you're just like, this is embarrassing. But I don't know who you are.
It was just like, what was it? A few nights ago, I was out riding with D and Boots again. And we were somewhere in Oakland. I forget where we were. We were going to the Yellow Rail. And made a wrong turn somewhere, bombed down this hill, and all I hear is, yo, hippie! And I'm just, like, looking around. I had no clue who that was, who it was. Like I couldn't even see them,
Mm-hmm.
but I was like, oh hey, what's up, and just kept going. But whoever that was knew who I was.
That's funny.
And mind you, like we're in the middle of like not like where School of the Blind is or anything, but like deeper in.
Yeah, where it's like kind of getting sparse into like some of the residential stuff.
Like a rich preppy neighborhood where like I have no clue where I'm at, but you know, whoever it was knew who I was.
Well, it's funny too because like some people will change their Instagram tag too, and it's like you almost can't.
Yeah, no, because when I had to remake that channel, I was like, maybe I should make it like cancel Jake the Hippie because like, in my mind, I think somebody reported that account. Which maybe not.
Or did it get hacked and then reported and it all got deleted in the process?
Possibly.
I don't remember. I normally like that's happened a handful of times where stuff gets hacked and then it starts sending stuff and then everyone reports it.
Yeah.
And it just disappears and then you're like, wait, what?
Yeah, like Spoon's account.
Yeah.
How like the hacker was like, yeah, like started talking like Spoon and everything, and then was like, yeah, I just got this, $500 or $500,000 Bentley, rah rah rah.
Yeah, and you're like, oh no, never mind.
Nah.
Why don't you like hit me with something a little more reasonable? Like, I just picked up a $3,000 Honda Civic, and you'd be like,
okay, that's more believable.
Not that I want to help the scammers, but like,
fuck the scammers.
Terrible. So yeah. Anyway, I think it was right around. It had to have been 2015 then.
Yeah.
Is that when we did the first GrindWorks jam?
Maybe.
I'd have to go look. Because I think it was only the first one that Andrew came out to.
I think. Maybe. I don't. Because I know I talked to my parents about it and they were like, yeah, you can go. Just, make sure, like, you stay with Andy and don't get lost. Because when they dropped me off, they were like, all right, just be safe, stay with Andrew, whatever. And I think I might have been with Neil.
Yeah.
I call him Steal because that's what everybody calls him at work. So it kind of just stuck. But I don't know whether I think it was by myself, honestly. Because I was just hung out with you the entire time. And that's when I really just sucked at bikes.
Well, and that was probably, I mean, you were at Peach before that, and you'd maybe gone to the wheel mill a couple of times.
Yeah.
But I'm going to guess that was more your introduction to BMX, like real BMX at that point.
Because Cham was like in his like peak at that point.
Are you dogging on Cam?
No. I don't want any smoke. He a big boy.
Cam, I heard that Jake the Hippie said you're not good anymore.
He's stupidly good. But like, Cham was riding for Shadow or whatever at that point in time. I think.
G-Form and maybe Sabrosa. I don't know if it was ever Shadow.
Oh, no, because Shadow riding gear wasn't a thing yet. I don't think.
Yeah, I know it was G-Form for a while. I don't know. I think he kind of hopped a few places along the way.
Yeah.
Trying to get something that was like good and made sense. But yeah. So yeah, you're probably seeing that and just like, wow, this is crazy.
Yeah, seeing him like
a bunch of people getting rowdy in the streets. Seeing real street spots. Like probably a good eye opener.
Yeah, because that was my first time like in the city, and like during that time I had nobody to really ride with, per se, because like all I rode is Greensburg.
Yeah.
So like going out to Pittsburgh where it was like street spots literally everywhere. Like even when I saw like a Jersey beer, like that's a spot to me because like there's nothing really out in Greensburg at all.
Yeah.
So like even just hitting peg chinks along the way is all BMX to me. Because that's all I grew up like really doing until I saw like what Yins could do.
Yeah. Well, and then, I mean, the first couple years, we had a couple really good, like, hill bombs down into North Shore as well. Out of North Side into North Shore.
The one I remember was with
like
Matt
Mass
P.
Group. Yeah.
And I think somebody hopped on, like, a car pulled out in front of us, and somebody hopped up over the fucking car. That I remember very vividly.
See, I have very spotty, like, I don't want to say recollection of, but even existence at those jams, because we had so many prizes and we had limited people with bags. So like we would go to one spot and we'd start like throwing out prizes for like doing this or doing that, or who did something cool over here.
Yeah.
And then we would run out of stuff, and while everyone rode to the next spot, we would ride back to my car, restock the bags, and then meet up at the next spot. Which, when you really think about the distance that we're riding, like, we were hustling.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was by the time you guys would go from, say, like MLK and get over to the block, we would be down to the car, reload, and race back up to the block. And it's like we weren't even gone.
Yeah.
So that was a lot of hustle going on the first couple of years. And then after that, we kind of started realizing, like, it's not helping anyone to throw prizes midday, because now you all have to carry backpacks and you're trying to, like, well, what am I going to do with this stupid third shirt that I've got now?
Yeah.
And the pair of grips I didn't need that I now have to put in my own backpack that I wasn't going to carry, and it's starting to get full. And like, there's just a lot of logistics to doing that didn't make sense. So some of the more recent ones, we just waited and did everything at the end.
Or yeah.
But you lose people along the way. And it's like, man, it's a bummer that like so-and-so didn't get something because they had to leave.
Yeah, it's either that or they'll like, we're going to go to a different street spot or whatever they're going to do.
Yeah.
Because I remember one time, like, I don't know, I got stickers or whatever it was, but I was carrying like a dance tomp, like, you know, like one of those gym bags.
Yeah.
Thing ripped on me. So I'm having to like kind of like hold on my shoulders and I hope to God that it doesn't like just completely rip apart on me.
Yeah, we had that. We had there was one year where it might have been not the last year that Kian was threeing the big stair set. The year before that, he blew up his wheel real bad. And I had a spare wheel, but while everyone moved on to the next spot, we rode back to my car to refill things and waited for Rachel to bring the spare wheel. And then we changed it over. And I mean, this is like an hour and a half of my jam that I missed.
Yeah.
Just in that process. And then trying to coordinate and figure out where is everyone and get back. I literally missed the whole jam.
God damn.
You know, we did MLK, probably the block, and then went to the stair set.
Yeah.
And then I missed the rest of the jam.
Like, the one that sticks out the most is, what was it, like a 4-stair or 5-stair, like, you know, big stair set, though. But it was, like, more blocks than anything.
Yeah, that was one of the first years that we sessioned that gap out into the grass hill.
Yeah, because I remember, like, The Hood is Nice, Kevin,
Yeah.
tail whipping it.
Yep. Yeah, I think that might have been the very first year.
I
did a
remember
whole bunch
that
of stuff.
very vivid. I think I still have a of him tail whipping that set on my phone.
It's going to sound wonderful that I just blew my nose right into the microphone. And I might have to do it again. Great. And then we waited a couple years, and then we went back and rode the White Walls again. That's what they call that spot. White Walls.
Where's the spot where like it's bank and then like brick wall, right down by the stadium somewhere?
It's over near the casino.
Is it still there?
I believe so. We talked about putting the kicker there this year to go up to that wall.
That would be absolutely terrifying.
You'd be so high on it.
Like, I don't even know who would have the balls to hit it. Because like, you're having the whole.
I'm just not sure it would be fun.
I mean, you don't make it, you're dead. You commit and then you bail out, you're dead. So it's kind of like a.
I mean, you're just going to push through the kicker. You're not going to, like, boost it, and go way up the wall and drop 12 feet later.
You never know.
But, no, that spot's, like, kind of fun.
Yeah.
But it's not a super fun jam spot.
Nah, because it's more of, like, a video part kind of, like, spot than anything.
I mean, it's a good bank-to-wall ride. If you're looking for a good bank-to-wall ride, that's one.
Yeah.
But you gotta be pretty good to pull back.
Yeah.
And make it back to the bank. Like, that's kind of the thing, is you could fly out to the wall and then drop to the sidewalk and then hop back into the bank, and you're just like, eh.
Yeah, it's not gonna look good.
So, being good enough to make it to the wall and pull back is a thing.
Yeah.
But that requires a certain amount of speed. But the majority of people, when you set up a jam there, they're not training the wall ride. Everyone's doing tricks on the bank. And then you got people kind of like going over and around them and cutting in and out. And it's just a little bit crazy.
I just can cut into time like once I got my license. Because once I got my license, I was automatically like already like, all right, I'm going out to Pittsburgh. I'm going out to here. Mm-hmm. Even though still during that time I had nobody to ride with other than Neil. So me and him were like, yeah, let's go out to Indiana State Park. Went out to Indiana State Park, which I don't think that park's even around anymore. Like it's there, but like you.
I don't know if it's open or not. They every year, so that's MAC.
Yeah.
Every year they play like some weird game about funding and being able to keep it open. It's like it's already built. It's already there. I don't know. I mean, I understand there's insurances and all that stuff that have to be paid. And there's general upkeep and maintenance, but I feel like they over-exaggerate the cost of keeping it open as if it's not something that should be written into their budget in their parks program because they have a skate park there.
Yeah.
And then they close it at certain times of the year because of like the county fair or whatever. It's just weird.
Yeah. And I don't think I ever really like rode street in Pittsburgh whenever I got my license. Maybe like a handful of times. Or like when I first got my license. But then like, say when I was, I don't know, 19, 20-ish, around my or like, you know, my 20s, once I hit my 20s, then I was like, all right, like I'm going out to Pittsburgh, I'm going out to, you know, I'm going out to this gym that's out here. But more recently, like now, I'm like, all right, there's a gym going on in, you know, West Virginia or whatever, or, you know, Virginia. Still, you want to go to it? Yeah, like, all right, let's go.
Mm-hmm.
And even when I was down in Richmond last year, people knew who I was. And I had zero clue who they were.
The park website, which has not been updated in a few years, says that the skate park is still there.
I mean, the last time I heard is like the park's still there. It's just like you get caught hopping the fence, you know, you can possibly get fined for it. But that's if you did.
So it's not open. It's just
it's there, but like
that sucks because that's a cool park. It's fun. It's a good layout.
Oh yeah. Like even the quarters and everything, like you can ride it and not be like terrified of hitting them.
Yeah. Well, that's a bummer to know that that's potentially not open anymore and may never be again.
Yeah.
Because you lost Blairsville.
Stumville.
Hey, those are nice people.
Nicer people than what it is out in the like whatever town thing you want to call it out here.
Yeah, I don't know. So that's when we met. We talked about a little bit about like riding the street, getting into it. Then it felt like Neil was like your only friend for a while.
Yeah.
Like a good while.
A very like me and him are best friends. Like
Yeah.
no matter what, like he's my best friend. Cause like cause I think really like if I wouldn't have met, well, all right, so we'll go back to like when I first started riding.
Yeah.
So when I first started riding, I was riding with John Jablonski. So that like when I moved, because I moved from the country into the city. My brother used to skateboard and ride BMX. My brothers used to ride and skate. So my brother was like, "Hey, like, I'll give you my old BMX bike. It was an old like Trek Vert,
Okay.
like 50-pound, like just monster of a beast of a bike."
Yeah.
And so that was kind of like my first kind of introduction into it, and then started riding around the neighborhood. Mind you, it had flat tires. Like I never like fixed it. I literally just rode on flat tires for a good like first part of the year of being like in wintertime. I just rode on flats.
So does the entire professional BMX scene.
I guess.
Like 15 to 20 PSI.
Well, I was like completely maxed out, like no pressure whatsoever. And then once summer rule around, Little John was around. You know, I knew him because my dad used to work for them. So he was like, "Hey, like, you know, we got dirt jumps up behind, you know, one of the houses that they own." So went up behind one of the houses, and he was like, "All right, try to jump it." Me not knowing, having no clue how to jump a bike at all, let alone bunny hop, I was like, okay. Crank that, and mind you, the jump was like you know, like that big.
Yeah,
Clearly,
so like a foot and a half.
yeah, and mind you, I'm just cranking at it for dear life. Jump it. I think I might have back hasted it and then just went straight into the wooden fence and broke it. And like just knocked myself down, got up, and was like, "Oh, I'm fine." Started walking around and then stepped on like you know, a nail. I looked down like, "Oh shit, nail on my foot, cool." And it was like, "All right, just hold still." Yanked it out. I was like, "Okay, well, hopefully I don't need, you know, tetanus shots now." And then I was thinking like, I don't know what. I was in middle school at that time, so I think it went all the way from middle school to like once I was what 7th, 8th grade. He ended up started getting into trouble, like drugs and whatever else he was getting involved with. And so then he started going down the wrong path, and then all of his other buddies tend to go with that.
Mhm.
You know, like the whole party drugs thing. Went down the wrong path, and then I didn't see him for a while. So then, like, after that, I had nobody to ride with at that point. I was just riding on my own. And then, luckily, when I was in town, I was just chilling at one of the spots, and I see some dipshit hauling ass down the alleyway. And mind you, like, I have no street smarts at this point. I'm thinking I'm going to jump because I just see some tall ass, teenager hauling ass towards me. I'm thinking I'm going to jump. Turns out it was Skillet. And he's like, oh, hey, I'm going down to, Lynchfield, one of the parks that are nearby, like, to meet up with one of my buddies that I knew. And I'm like, oh, okay. Follow behind you. But me being like, I don't know exactly who you are, but I'm just going to keep my caution and follow behind you. And then basically from then on, we just clicked and started hanging out every day. But I really think it was honestly all because of him is the reason why I'm still riding today.
Mhm.
Because if I wouldn't have met him, I was either going to just phase out of it or did something else, or just probably still ride because I have nothing else better to do.
Yeah. It's hard to say.
Yeah.
It's like speculation to some point to figure out which way you would go or not go, but it definitely helps to have someone to ride with that's like sometimes having a lot of riding friends is tougher than having only one or two.
Mm-hmm.
Because you got to ride like in a similar way to help push each other.
Yeah. Because if you're not riding the similar, like if you're not like on the same spectrum of like, if you're not on the same level as the other person you're riding with, and you're kind of having to like, hey, try to get up to my level of like riding, so me and you can kind of compete at like, all right, I'm going to do this, I'm going to crook down this handrail, or I'm going to, bar spin this, whatever.
Yeah, right. And you're like, well, I guess I'm just going to go over here and try to learn manuals then.
Yeah.
Like, you do you, I'll do me, but like, it doesn't jive.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I gotta blow my nose again. This is stupid. Maybe I'll go through and edit these, but I have a tendency to not edit my podcasts.
Yeah.
I don't really like doing it.
I'd say fucking let it roll.
Yeah, I don't like doing it. It's one of those things that like takes a lot of time to go through, and then you start nitpicking it. Like, well, if I took that out, I should take this out, and then I did this. And maybe there were a couple pauses. Maybe I'll trim those out. Oh, I trimmed them so tight that now I have to edit like all the other stuff. And you're just like, what am I doing? This is stupid.
But like, back to like the whole like, when I was, it's just started out riding. Middle school, well, because Max was just starting to ride at that point, and Nick Ross. And I don't know how old Zach was at that time. Probably around the same age.
Maybe a year or two different. Yeah. I don't know.
I met them up at Peach, because I had no clue who Max was at all, even though me and him went to the same middle school.
Mm-hmm.
And then I found out, like, oh shit, you ride BMX? Oh, sick, cool. Just hung out with them at Peach almost every day. And then from there, kind of went blank after that, because like it was either just really after school I was either at Peach or pedaled from my house to Peach,
mm-hmm.
which I don't know how, because I know like when you drove me home that one time, you were like, you live further away than what you say you do.
Yeah, no, you were a good bit across town.
Oh yeah.
So, I mean, you probably had a half hour to 45 minutes to ride from your house to Peach.
Because, like, me and Still would be like, all right, well, we're going to go to Peach today. And so we would just pack our backpacks full of, like, water, whatever, pop that we had,
mm-hmm.
and just trek out. Mind you, we have to cut onto a main highway. or tunnel on the back roads and hope that we don't get hit by a car.
Mm-hmm.
Which tunnel on the back roads is absolutely terrifying. Being on the main road is at least like somewhat less sketchy.
It's a different sketchy.
Yeah, because like you have actual like you can just walk through people's parking lots. Set on, back roads you have like,
Yeah.
not even car lengths wide to walk on. And being that it's back road, idiots aren't watching out for you.
Yeah.
But we would go all the way up to Peach, ride there all day, and then as soon as it would hit like 8:30, like 1 would start getting dark, start heading back. And heading back at nighttime, nobody's looking out for bicyclists at that point, especially
BMX, because no one has reflectors.
nah. No reflectors, no nothing. The only thing,
All black because it's cool.
yeah, all black. The only thing that maybe reflected off is like the backpacks.
Yeah.
If that.
Right, they might have some reflective, like, stitching or banding of some sort.
Because I know the one time we're like, all right, it's way too dark to be on the road that's by Peach, so we decided to like try to cut up through the woods. That was even more like sketchy because we're hearing gunshots going off, and we're like, all right, just start talking to each other. So like, if they're near us, they can hear us,
Mm-hmm.
but we can't see them, and they can't see us. So like, let's just hope we don't get shot. And ended up cutting down through Boulevard, and then just went down one of the side roads, and then got in Greensburg.
For clarification, you are talking hunting.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I know that. Otherwise, you would be quiet. But if they were shooting and you...
Yeah, we're in the hood.
Hurry up.
And then a few years, like, got my license, traveled here, like, went to skate parks here and there. But I think until, like, recently, because Noah Anderson,
Mm-hmm.
you know who he is. He hit me up randomly on Instagram, was like, yo, you should come out to Cokesburg. I call it Coxburg. But Cokesburg, and ride with us. So I'm like, all right. And then told my parents, like, hey, I'm going out to this random ass town to meet up with these random ass people that hit me up on Instagram. And my parents were like, wait, you're meeting somebody off of Instagram. That sounds a little weird, doesn't it?
I mean, you would think so, but like the number of people that I've let sleep at my house that I've never met, except for talk to on Instagram a time or two, but they came to our jam and like needed a place to crash.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's just normal. It's so normal in our scene, and then you think like no one else does that. I mean, skate, BMX, scoot, whatever, like anything like that, and probably motocross and just this style of sport.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty normal in. But if you were like on a travel soccer team or something and you're like, hey, I'm coming into town for this game, can I sleep on your couch? No. Hard no. But you like soccer and I like soccer, so why can't I? No. Because you're weird. No.
I lost my track of... nah.
That
I know
you've
what I was
been
talking about.
recently traveling, like,
Yeah.
new.
And then, so my mom and dad were like, all right, well, we're going to drive you out because we don't know who these people are. I don't know whether they're, like, weirdos or, or what.
Yeah, they're weirdos, but...
We're all weirdos. I mean, think about it. We're grown-ass men riding little kids' bikes.
Kinda.
I mean, I've talked to my mom and dad about it. Like, if you see somebody like me riding street in, say, Pittsburgh or whatever, grinding a ledge, and you see sparks and everything flying, you're going to think this dude's on crack or on some sort of drugs because, like, beard, long hair, and then just a clown-looking bike. Because to the normal people, people know what BMX is, but like BMX street is more or less like still like not known-ish.
it rides the line of vandalism. And in some cases, sure, if you allegedly pop skate stoppers off. But
Jicky.
hey, we're not naming names.
It's not his real name.
No,
Allegedly.
but everyone knows who you're talking about that listens here. Hey, you want to talk about popping skate stoppers? Sitting right on my desk right here is all the special bits.
I mean, I would just say just take your peg to it and...
Yeah, but it's all those different security bits. Like these ones, those ones.
Allegedly.
No, it is. They're very cheap. You can order whole sets of them. These ones you see a lot on... This is what Skate Stop actually uses. Like the little 2-prong.
Yeah.
There's Tri-Wing in here too. I don't know where Tri-Wing is right there. But, yeah, that's a nice little tool set. And, you get a nice little impactor drill. Nice little removal kit.
Some vandalism destruction.
An oscillating cutoff tool.
But
so you can also remove them without actually removing them. So the other way, like the mechanical nightmare rails where it's like joint knuckles and then a small section of rail and then another knuckle.
Yeah.
And they just do it with all these like different pieces. If you get a piece of tube and you cut it in half the long way, you can just epoxy it to the top of the rail and it fills the gap between the joint knuckles.
True.
So sometimes you don't even have to cut stuff off. You just have to add more material.
Yeah.
For it to be usable.
But parents drove me out to meet Noah and then one of Noah's other buddies were like at the meeting spot where we're meeting at, and like, oh yeah, he's coming up here soon, whatever. And my mom and dad like, so do you want us to leave, or like what do you want to do? And I'm like, I mean, you instant leave. I mean, there's nothing.
Just like come back, I guess, at some point.
Like, there's nothing really around here. It's like out in the boonies.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, you can leave me. Like, I can handle myself. And my mom and dad are like, all right, yeah, just be safe. Don't be an idiot. So they left, and then Noah ended up coming up, and then me and him ended up riding, and then he started, pushing me more to like, hey, like, I know you can do this. Don't be a bitch about it, basically.
Well, I used to do that to you too at the ice house.
Yeah.
You'd be like, oh, that was good. And I'm like, no.
Do it again.
I know you can do it better. Do it over.
Exactly. And then from there, because then I think around that time I got my first car, like not the Corolla yet, but I had the Equinox that my brother bought for $500 or whatever. Like, it was going to blow up.
Yeah.
Like, the engine was going to blow up. So it was like, you know what, you can have it until the engine blows up, and then I'll take it back, or do whatever with it. But he told me specifically, don't take it out to Pittsburgh because it has overheating issues. And obviously, being 18, 19 years old, you're like, fuck it.
It'll be all right.
Yeah, it'll be cool. Like, I'll just take off the hood. And then me, Noah, Scotty, Matt, and whoever else that I can't remember decided to go out to Pittsburgh with it. Stuff 6 bikes in there and 6 people. Maybe not comfortably, but you fit.
Yeah.
And got out by the tunnels, and then next thing you know, it just started like pinging, overheating. I'm like, oh fuck! Please don't overheat in the tunnel. If you overheat in the tunnel, you're fucked.
Mm-hmm.
You can't pull over anywhere. So I decided, like, all right, let's pull over on the side of the road here, right before you got into the tunnel, because I don't want to break down in there. Because you break down in there, you're done.
Yeah. Well, and you ruin everyone else's day too.
Exactly. So we pull over to the side, and I'm just like, all right, well, I'm going to go out, pop the hood. I got like a whole gallon of water to put down as coolant. Whenever this thing decides to cool down, because I'm not popping that thing with it being boiling hot. And we sat there for a good like half hour, just like you think it's cooled off yet?
No.
Nah. Do any of you guys try to piss? Nah. Okay. Does that mean could try to piss on to try to cool it down? Because me and Still did that one time because we didn't have no water, and we did it right up near Peach and overheated, and we're like, no water, this thing's completely dry. Both of us got to piss into the radiator and hope it works.
No wonder it's ruined.
Well, the shit box. But eventually, like, the thing ended up cooling down. Put the whole gallon into it, and then it just all evaporated because it was still piping hot, but it was like nothing left in it. And then got all the way down to River Ave, because I think we're meeting with like Gervin or somebody. Pretty sure we meet up with Gervin. But Gervin left because we got down there way too late, and there was like a football game or something going on. But no one was like, oh, like, we'll go to, whatever spots. I honestly don't even really remember, because I don't think the science ledges were there yet. So I think we just like end up going up to MLK and then the block, and then that's it. That's all the only spots we knew at that time.
Yeah.
But rode with him for like a long period of time, and then Scotty ended up getting out of it, got into dirt bikes, which, I mean, he's made the Loretta Lynn's and everything now. So, I mean, the kid obviously is stupidly good at what he's doing now. And yeah. And then up to current now, where I'm just riding with like a D, Boots, or really whoever wants to ride. And even like, because now when I'm riding with Boots or whatever, I get it, I try to film something. He's like, nope, I know you can do it again. Run it back. Don't do it again.
Yeah. And
sometimes I'll try to fight him on like, no, like it's good. Like, no, it's not. Don't do it again. And which case you said, like, you need somebody to push you in order to tell you, I know you can do better than what you did.
Well, because otherwise you've got no standard to be like a comparative to. So, like, once you start doing that, then you set a bar on your own page too, like your Instagram stuff. And you can't be posting clips that are worse than the ones you've already posted.
I mean, you can.
I do, because I suck now, but I have a new video part in Matt O'Connell's video in Bitch Cranks too. And it's like, man, that video part's actually pretty good, but like, I can't ride like that right now. Like, it just came out 4 months ago, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be great if I could do half of that stuff. That'd be real cool. And actually, I probably can. Like, even riding recently has felt a lot better since I'm not just stuck all the time. But I sit a lot. I've been traveling a lot. Like, it does not bode well.
Yeah.
Traveling for work does not always afford the bicycle.
Yeah, that's another thing. This is like, I mean, this is completely off topic, but like, I want to try to find a job in traveling, but traveling with my bike for the most part. Because if I can find something like that, that would be a dream.
So, traveling for work, you're the right age for it. because constant travel is a young man's game. Once you start to have a life and you have a girlfriend or a wife or a kid or, all these other things, they just start to like get in the way of that.
Yeah.
So if you meet someone and you already have a traveling job, that's standard normal life. Like, you're gone a lot, this, that, you're back, we do these things, and then I'm gone again. No big deal.
Yeah.
But when it happens later, if you're like, oh, I was a regular 9 to 5 and now I'm gone all the time, it like changes a dynamic, and that's tough. It's like tough for everyone involved. So it's a young man's game. You're better off getting into that gig when you don't have a lot of other outside stuff going on other than BMX.
Mm-hmm.
I can tell you that typically when you're working on the road like that, it's long hours, typically involving overtime, and by the time you get done, you don't feel like riding your bike anyway.
I mean, I'm used to working like 12 plus hour shifts, so I mean,
yeah. What do you want to do?
that's the whole thing. I don't know. I mean, obviously make money, but like, I don't know what I really want to do. You know what I mean?
So you could, I mean, I don't know, what's your skill sets? Like, what do you do right now?
I didn't go to college or anything, so like I don't have no like primarily skill set. You know what I mean?
Okay. I know what you mean. What do you do right now for work though?
Dishwashing.
Okay. So it's basic work. I'm trying to think, like, from a traveling standpoint, there's a couple different routes you can go. You typically have like skilled trade, which would be maybe like welders or like certain types of maintenance technicians. Like in my company, it would be valve technicians.
Yeah.
That you're really like a specialty service, and you're going from plant outage to plant outage. There's like traveling sales.
Which all that is, at least what I'm guessing is like you just like try to pitch whatever your company is trying to sell to the buyer.
It's not so much. You're not always trying to sell cold like that. It's more often either an existing customer that you're making like repeat visits to, making sure that everything is current, that they're happy with what they've received so far. What other solicitations do you have coming out? What do you need next? Like, kind of just staying up and keeping the communication up. You would call that more like customer management than really sales.
I got you.
And then obviously there is involved in that. Okay, maybe you sell to this place, but right next door is like a very similar business and you don't sell to them. So maybe you are making some like kind of cold calls, trying to get your foot in the door.
Yeah.
Leveraging existing relationships, because if it's across the street, maybe, okay, hey, what do you know about the place across the street? The guy you always talk to, what do you know? Who do you know over there? Oh, my buddy so-and-so works in this department. All right, can I have their number? Like, put me in touch with them. So you kind of have to work those relationships, but like that's sales.
Yeah.
Business to business sales is a lot different than like commercial sales, like, or not commercial. Yeah, I mean it is, but that's not what I mean. retail. It's not retail. So like it's not like trying to sell stuff that people don't need. And in most cases you're not trying to create a demand for something. It's something people already need and they already buy it from you anyway.
I see. I think I know what you mean. I mean, it's either that or like, honestly, I've been thinking about like next summer to go work for Woodward
Yeah.
because like, if you think about it, go work there, you still be able to ride afterwards, and not including that you're riding with top-notch athletes.
Mm-hmm.
You network with them, you can get into something else involving BMX. You don't necessarily have to be sponsored, quote unquote, to be in the BMX industry.
Well, and I mean, BMX has sales and stuff too. Look at, you got like Montana Ricky and that type of stuff. So even picking up the last part of the conversation, distributors to bike shops would be business to business sales. So the thing about, as someone that sells a bike brand or a handful of brands to a bike shop, you're trying to get them to carry your brand more, but you already know they need your stuff. Like, it's not a cold sell in most cases. Like,
you're just trying to get more of your product in.
Yeah, you're trying to gain market share. And you're trying to work with your customers and get feedback too, because, well, hey, why didn't you buy so much this year? Like, well, none of my customers asked for it, or I sat on so much of it last year that I didn't buy any this year.
Yeah.
So that type of feedback loop, like, that's why you're calling them and talking to them or stopping by. But in BMX, there's not so much like travel to visit them.
Yeah.
And in the real world, there's not that much anymore. You don't need to.
Yeah.
Why do I need to go there if I can use Microsoft Teams or Zoom and just
call,
be face to face with you from my house and their house? It saves on gas. It saves on airline tickets. It saves on hotels. It saves on food.
Yeah.
Because half the time you're either bringing donuts in or you're buying them dinner or lunch, or like, there's so much stuff that it's beneficial. Even though I hate it. I hate Teams and Zoom. I'd rather sit face to face with someone and have a real conversation, because you can't like cut it short, or you get a real feel like, look, this isn't going to work. Like, okay, that's fine. But I don't know that sales is necessarily a direction you'd want to go in anyway. And it's tough to get a good traveling sales job like that, where you're actually going all over the place and not just regional.
Yeah.
Like if you were doing sales in Pittsburgh and, maybe you're driving from like Grove City to, Morgantown.
Yeah, you're just going from town to town, basically.
Right. It's all in town travel. You're never hotel, but you're all over the place.
Yeah.
You're just busy. It takes a while to get like national sales manager type stuff where you are all over the place.
But like I said, like, honestly, that's honestly what I'd love to do, is just like go there and possibly work there full time if I honestly could.
I don't think they pay well. And I don't know that for sure.
Yeah.
I know people that work there that I could ask, but I know like way back it was not a lot. Like if you had bills to pay, it wasn't practical.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have bills to pay other than, insurance and car and cell phone. Other than that, I got nothing to worry about. As long as I can cover that and still have play money, I'm good.
Yeah, and I don't know if you would have, if you'd even be able to.
Yeah, that's the only thing.
Because, like, food would add up. I mean, like, groceries and everything. If you really want to do it good, you can go get groceries and meal prep and do all the different stuff and whatnot. But you're living in, like, cabins. Like, you really can't.
Yeah.
You can. Don't get me wrong
You
on
can,
that.
but you have to really, like, tough it out.
It's just not easy.
Yeah.
It's not the easy way. What the easy way is everyone, hops in a car and rides down to town and orders something together.
Mm-hmm. And even in town, there's the closest Sheets is like 20 minutes out.
Yeah, there's a pizza place like 10 minutes out. And that's about it.
I remember when me and still went up there for adult weekend. I was on the book to get like the lodge or something like on site, and then I kind of like blew it off for a little bit, and then the next day I did back on the website, and everything's booked up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, well, hopefully there's a hotel nearby. Looked at the hotel that was nearby. It was, $100 for 3 nights, whatever. All right, cool. No Wi-Fi. No TV.
Is that the Woodward Inn?
No, this is like in town, like in that little like town that you just go straight through.
Yeah. So there's Woodward Inn. I know there's a couple other little hotels or like whatever right
It's
there.
like a bar.
Then there's the lodge at camp.
Yeah.
And then there's some other stuff, but yeah.
But like, me and him went and stayed at this like bar/motel. We got there and they were like, "All right, we don't got the key ready because they're redoing the locks, whatever."
Of course.
And this already sounds bad.
Yep.
And me and Star were just like, don't worry about it. We'll do it when we come back. We didn't get back till like 2 a.m. because we were out at Woodward riding all day. And we went to Sheets afterwards to get something to eat. Come back and we're like, okay, well, the bar's still open. We had to go to the bar because somebody left their lights on in the parking lot. So we were just being nice, like, hey, somebody left their lights on in the parking lot. Some drunk old man was like, rah, 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 rah. Like, okay. We tried to get the bartender, and the bartender was back there gambling. So we're like, okay, we're going to go up to our room and, drink. This is the only time that I drink, like, during special occasions. It was his birthday. So me and him went up and, started drinking. Passed out that night. Didn't have the door locked because we didn't have the key. And then next night, come back, go up to the room, sleep. And then next thing you know, somebody unlocks the door, walks in, luckily still was awake, like, yeah, occupied. They go out, I get back up, and mine just like 3, 4 in the morning somewhere at that point in time. So I don't really know what's going on. I just get up and lock the door. And then the owner comes up, bang, 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 open up the fucking door, dickhead. And I'm like, still, you got your gun on you, right? Yeah, I allegedly got my gun on me. And then, so I'm like, all right, well, if anything happens, just be ready. So I open the door and the dude's like, how'd you get in here? Da da da, rah rah rah. And I'm just like, mumbling because I'm terrified out of my mind because I don't know what's going to happen or what's going on because I'm half awake. And I'm just like, these people walked in on us, unlocked the door and walked into our room. I got you guys never gave us the key because, you guys were fixing the doors. And I got the receipt to prove it. And I could smell the alcohol off this dude's breath. And he's like, oh, showed him the receipt and he was like, oh, my bad. I'm really drunk right now. My, wife was trying to get in here for whatever reason. I think they were going to do the nasties. And, just profusely apologized, this, that, like just trying to kiss up to me. And I'm like, bro, I genuinely don't care right now.
Just leave.
Just
leave.
I just want to go to sleep. It's like, all right, here's the key. Have a nice night. Like, I'm going to stay up the rest of the night because of this. Close the door and lock it. And I proceeded to literally stay up that entire rest of the night. Because I couldn't get back to sleep because I was so paranoid.
Yeah.
And I'm never staying at that motel ever again. Plus, I'm pretty sure that had bed bugs too. Because motel, trashy. For $100 for 3 nights.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty low end.
Yeah, very, very low end.
Yeah, well, you know.
But I mean, that's what makes the core BMX memories too, is shit like that.
Yeah, you know, at some point you kind of like move past that one, and I don't like to stay at sketchy motels.
Nah. That was my first.
If I can't afford a decent hotel, I can't afford the trip.
I got you. Well, all right. So
and I'm not talking anything fancy. Like a Red Roof is fine.
Yeah.
A Hampton Inn is fine. Hampton Inn gets expensive sometimes if you're on surge pricing on weekend rates.
So the first trip
I got hosed by that on the Pittsburgh Jam last weekend. It was like, it's a hotel I've stayed at in the past, like plenty of times. It's usually like $108 a night.
Yeah.
$166.
Oh fuck.
Then that was out of town. In town, typically it's like $180.
And because of the baseball game that was going on.
$307.
Jesus.
I was not stoked.
Oh my god.
It was $307 on Saturday night. It was $307. Or I could go stay out by the airport for $154. I'm like, I'm driving 20 minutes.
Airport it is then.
Forget that. I'm going to by the airport. So, but that's usually at like $108 a night hotel, something like that. So then the next night I was there for work. And I'm like, oh, forget it. They're getting the expensive one.
You got
But it was like back to 180 or 2, maybe it was up to like 220 or something, but it was Sunday night.
Mm-hmm.
So it was way less. But still, you're like, this is bogus.
Yeah. And then like the first trip, like first legit like BMX trip that I went on was the Rumble in Richmond. Because I've been wanting to go to it for like ever since they had it.
Yeah.
And I told still like at work, like, yo, like August whatever date it is, like let's go down to this, because like I want to go to the Songfest. Didn't go to it. So I was like, let's go to this one, because like it's closer by, and you know, why not?
Mm-hmm.
So both of us put in our, you know, the paid time off for it, and we're like, all right, we're going down to it. Both of us didn't plan nothing out at all. No hotel, no nothing. Literally like straight from work, 6 hours trip straight down.
It's a better way.
Oh yeah.
Why plan?
I mean, that's even what I did with this. I didn't plan it out. I was just hoping you were here, or you know,
Yeah.
Either I'm gonna sleep there or sleep at a Walmart.
It would not be difficult to have slept there. There's a ton of people camping out at the Jam tonight. Even local people. Like, I mean, half of those people live in town there. Like Ben and everyone. Ben lives right up the road. You know where the fork was in the road?
Yeah.
He lived from Rockies. He lives before that fork in the road.
Wow.
And he's camping there, you know?
Yeah.
But it's because it's fun, I guess.
But so me and him, I went to my house and got the rest of my stuff, packed it into the Tacoma, because I could have took my car down, but the fact of like I just had rims, new custom rims put on the thing, I didn't want to curb them or dent anything. So I was like, I'm just gonna take my parents' truck down because it has a lot more room. We can fit the bikes both in there, and worst case scenario, we can sleep in the truck if we can't find nothing to stay at. So me still at his house, did all his stuff, put his bike in the bed, and just boogie on down. And we get like towards Baltimore, whatever, take a rest stop, get drinks, whatever. I have to get coffee to keep myself awake. It still doesn't want to drive because he's terrified of driving a truck. And truck the rest of the way down, we get near the the Beltway, where it's like 4 lanes of traffic.
Yeah, like outside of DC.
Yeah, and I'm just like, ah. So where do I turn? Are there cars behind us? It's like there's no blind spot monitoring on this thing.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, ah.
Was that the first time you've been in crazy traffic like that? Okay.
Like worse than Pittsburgh traffic.
And you were not in it at peak rush hour times.
Oh, this was peak rush hour. Like this was like Thursday night, I think, or Wednesday night, somewhere around there. But like, you're going.
Yeah, but not like 3:30 to 5 o'clock.
Yeah. Well, no, because I think we hit Baltimore traffic around 12-ish at night, somewhere around there.
Yeah, that is not busy at all. It's busy. But don't get me wrong.
To me, it was busy.
But it's not bad.
And like, I'm like, still, is there anybody like beside me on my blind spot? And I don't fucking know, just go for it. I'm like, all right, and just started whipping it. And the Beltway is like just beyond just nuts. 4 or 6 lanes of nothing but traffic. And God forbid you're in the wrong lane and you go flying past your exit, it's going to loop you all the way back up around Maryland and head towards like where like you were coming from, loop you all the way back up around, and then put you back where you just went past your exit again. Mm-hmm. Where, oh God, I don't even want to remember that. And then
it's fun. That's one of the things I like about driving multiple places. I actually really like the like multi-lane highways when it's like 5 lanes or so.
Yeah.
Chicago, love it out there. But it starts to become more efficient. Like, it feels overwhelming. And you've got people that aren't doing it like the way it's really intended to be done. But like, figure the far 2 right lanes, they're interchange lanes. The farthest right is merging and getting on and off like right then.
Yeah.
Come in a lane, and it's people that are like just they're either transitioning left because they're going to be on the highway for a long time, or they're waiting a handful of exits and they're going to be off soon. Then you've like, as you transition over, it's then like the middle lane is kind of like it's the passing lane for people that are getting off soon.
Yeah.
Then you're in like the 2 long-term lanes, like the slow lane and the passing lane.
Yeah.
And then even beyond that, sometimes you've got like an HOV lane and all sorts of different stuff. But I know when you're talking about like the Beltway, there's also like the through. You've got like a separate highway for the people that are getting on and off, and then like merge over points to a separate highway that's really just for like, you're going to skip the next 10 exits if you merge over here.
Yeah.
But it's not in the congestion.
And then like, the cars like that cut up through traffic, I don't know what they call it, but just swerve in and out of traffic.
Yeah, cutting lanes.
That's my first time like ever seeing that, because there was like an Altima and then some like clapped out other cars just woo, 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 woo. And the Altima had like a bumper just hanging off, just dragging. I'm just like, what in the fuck am I getting myself into? And then eventually we got down to Richmond. We got down to where down to the track where they were having the jam at, and it's like 2-3 in the morning at this point. There's signs all over saying like no overnight camping, no overnight camping. Like, I mean, really, if we park here, what are they going to do? It's 3 in the morning. There ain't nobody here. So like, it's either we park here and just sleep here the night, or we try to go out and find a hotel. So me and Silver was like, let's try to go out and find a hotel, because like all we can really do in the truck is put seats back and try to fall asleep, and that's not really all that comfortable. So we looked up hotels that were still open. I don't know what the first hotel was. It was like some sort of bar hotel, dive bar thing. Went to there, and it was like smack dab, and I'm guessing the ghettos, because like it didn't look like a really nice area. We parked, and still was like, what about the bikes in the bed? Because like the tonneau cover was poking up a little bit, so you can see the bikes in it. And I'm like, I don't know. Like, let's just hope nobody steals them.
Take them in.
Well, we didn't know what we were doing, so I went to the hotel and like locked. All right, let's try to find. This is like, all right, if we don't find a hotel right now, we're sleeping in the truck tonight. I don't care. Like, I need to get sleep because I'm very sleep deprived at this point. And the other one that popped up was Hampton Inn, and I'm like, all right,
they're unlocked all night.
Yeah, so we're like, all right, let's go to that one. We didn't know that for the majority, there's no free parking down there. And where we were at, there was like parking lot, but it was paid parking. And I'm like, all right, curb, sidewalk, bush, parking lot. So is there any cops around? No. All right, bet. Drove up onto the sidewalk. Drove over through the bush, parked in the parking lot, and then walked over to the Hampton Inn. And, we were like, oh, yeah, do you guys have any rooms available, whatever. And I'm looking around, everybody's all dressed up in tuxedos and all this. And I'm like, so I think we're in the right area, but we're in the wrong area, too. Because, like, we're dressed in street clothes and look
Hampton's not that fancy, but some of them have like weddings there.
Or was it Hampton or Hamilton? I think it was Hamilton.
Hilton,
something like that. The Hilton Inn.
Yeah, there's so many. There's Hilton Garden Inn, Hampton Inn, Homewood Suites, Home 2 Suites. They're all the same company. They're all Hilton.
So he was like, yeah, we got a room available, 2 beds, 1 bath, whatever. I'm like, all right, yeah, I'll take whatever it is. It was like, I don't know, $700, something crazy. And like,
you might have been at something like extra fancy.
I'm pretty sure we were, because they were like, we got catering, like to your room for free, whatever, da da da. And me being so sleep deprived at the point, I'm just like, yeah. Like, can we bring our bikes in so they don't get stolen? And they're like, yeah, no problem. Like, what do you, just ask, like, what are you guys here for? Like, oh, yeah, we're here for the Rumble in Richmond. And like, oh, yeah, we know what that is. And then brought our bikes in, and literally, I shit you not, everybody that was in there was all in dresses. Like, I don't know whether it was a wedding going on, but it was... Everybody's in dresses, everybody's in tuxedos, and I'm just like, we are so out of place.
So we've stayed at some really fancy hotels like that. When we went to Chicago, every time we stay in the Hilton right downtown, that's right across the street from Grant Park. So you've got the skate park that's lit 24/7, right across the street from our hotel. I can park and not have to drive for like a weekend. So, pretty nice.
Oh, yeah.
Ride everywhere we're going to go. The one time we were there, and it's like all marble inside. Super fancy. It's very expensive to stay there. Like $400 a night. So... we've got all these fancy people. Max is walking with us, and there's like this big, rotating door, revolving door thing. Max hits the e-stop on it.
Oh.
And this guy in the revolving door walks, bam, square into the door. and turns around and gives Max like this death stare. It is so funny.
But then,
but like we've got our, we're hauling our bikes through there too, and we're like, when I'm taking my bike through a hotel, I try to carry it. One, so you don't have cassette noises, but also just like as respect for the floor.
Yeah.
Not always, but most of the time, try to just carry it.
But we got our bikes up into the room, because they have valet parking too.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, all right, here's the keys. Where are you guys parked? Like, we're parking in that parking lot over there. Like, that's our valet parking over there. Like, how'd you guys get in there? Like, the date was open. So they were like, all right, well, we'll take your keys, but since you guys already parked over there, like, you don't have to worry about it. I'm like, all right, cool. Next morning comes around, we're like, hey, like, we, trying to get my truck. Like, oh yeah, sure. Go and get the truck, bring it over to us. And they're like, why is there a hole through the bush? And why is there like bushes in the grill? I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. Must have been some other idiot that went through the bushes.
You're like, what are you talking about? You guys valet parked my car.
Yeah, you guys, one of you idiots must have did it, allegedly.
You should have asked them. What? You guys parked this for me. Why are there bushes in my head? In my grill.
And then, so we got the truck and we're like, we asked them like, oh, is there, anywhere to eat? Because we didn't want to pay, $200 for a meal at this prestigious hotel, whatever it was. And they were like, oh, there's a good bagel shop like right down the road from here. I'm like, oh, okay. Went down there. Well, because we decided to just like pedal down to it because it's close by. Pedal down to it, and while we're pedaling down to it, we see a group of bike riders behind us. And I'm just like, all right, hopefully they're not going to try to rob us, because I don't know the area we're in, whether it's good or bad or not. Go in, I hold the door open for Skillet. Skillet walks in, and then I hold the door open for like the 4 other people that were, behind us. I'm like, oh, hey, thanks, Jake. I'm like, fuck, I don't know who that is. And it's, thanks, Jake, thanks, Jake, thanks, Jake. I'm like, okay, maybe they heard Skillet say my name. I don't know. Didn't line with Skillet, and then I look behind me, and it's the whole GT team, like Mason, Conway, literally like all of them. And I'm like, Skillet, is that the GT team behind us? And he's like, just starts freaking out, like, oh, hey, what's up, guys? And Conway and everybody's like, what's up with you, you goddamn tree hugger? And I'm just like, I thought you guys were going to jump us, to be honest, because seeing 4 other bike riders hauling ass towards us, I don't know the area we're in, so I kind of thought I was going to get jumped. They're like, no, we're heading to Texas Beach, like one of the DIYs around there.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh, sick, you mind if we tag along with you? And so I'm like, yeah, sure, the more the merrier. So we just tagged along with them, and they showed us all the other spots that were around Richmond.
Cool.
And then went down. Texas Beach is so fucking badass, too. And then from there, just went from there to all the other spots that are all around Richmond. And it honestly makes me want to move down there, because, like, all the state parks that are down there some of them are all DIY, and some of them are like legit all of them are like legit state parks. Mm-hmm. It's just the city backs it up, because the people that are in the township or whatever are all young people like me, your age, that are just like bike riders and skateboarders.
Yeah, Richmond's got a cool scene.
So I would love to move down there one of these days.
Pittsburgh has a good scene too. I really, really enjoyed my time there. We don't have I don't want to say it's a bad scene. No. The scene is what you make it.
Yeah.
And so this particular area, like, was FBM for years.
I realized that when we were coming over like Anthem, New York, and like it's like FBM area.
Well, so we're in Appalachian right now. You go Vestal, and then Binghamton. But if you cross the river from Vestal, Binghamton is Johnson City, where FBM was for a long time. So, like, we had Brawling at the Belmar, would have been your Rumble in Richmond.
Yeah.
Ghetto Street Comp. We had East Coast Terminal with Subdivision Trade Show and different. There's no way I'm going to forget the name of that contest. How am I forgetting the name of that contest? I'm forgetting the name of the contest that was at East Coast Terminal. La Revolution. We had all sorts of just different competitions and everything. And then even had like the FBM Post-Apocalyptics, which was held at HCS. There was just a lot of really good events held throughout the years that I think the scene doesn't realize that it's not the company that made those events special. It's the people that came to those events, because without them, there's no event.
Exactly.
So sometimes, and it's gotten better, but sometimes there's an attitude of like, well, we're not going to come to your event because it's not going to be as good as blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, fine. I mean, it's not going to be anything for you if you don't show up. So,
yeah.
like, but there was like a bitterness for a while that more events were happening in Richmond than were happening here, and little just weird, quirky stuff. But it's like the scene is what you make it.
Mm-hmm.
If you think it sucks, it's gonna suck because no one's doing anything because you're not doing anything.
Yeah.
If you want your scene to get better, do something. And that's a shift I had to make coming back here, because we were making a lot of stuff happen in Pittsburgh.
Oh yeah.
We were doing a lot of stuff. Then the Wheel Mill was doing a lot of stuff, and the Potosnies do a lot of stuff, and the Hallahans host their events. And like, when you add all that stuff up, BMX is doing really well in Pittsburgh, and Keystone was doing like the Corncrete and everything. It's like there's a lot of events happening at any given point in time.
Yeah.
And then you come back here, and the only event happening here was what we were hosting for the Binghamton Jam, which was fun, but it's not like it. If we weren't doing it, no one was. And then I moved back, and it's like, man, I just hate it here. It sucks so bad. And it took me a while to be like, okay, well, then make it better.
Yeah.
You know, get over yourself and do what you've always done and just promote and host BMX, which is really what this year is kind of. I mean, need to get it all back up and running. We've talked a little bit on it in past episodes, but not a ton.
Yeah.
How, like, I basically let the Instagram page die. Now, there were a few things going on. One was 2020.
Yeah, the whole COVID.
You know, we were doing a ton. I was posting so much in 2019. 2020 comes along, and everything just kind of slows down. Like, people didn't want to ride together. It was hard to do, like, events.
Yeah.
And then you had just changes in Instagram too, started making it harder to download clips and like repost them.
Yeah. And
we did the Instajam stuff, which was a lot of fun. I think a lot of people liked that conceptually. And then that was driving content though. I mean, I had so much stuff to post from the Insta jams. And it was right after that like the content changed to Reels, and it made it really weird to get stuff downloaded. And all the downloader apps were like, well, there's too many different ways with stories or with this, with that to download. Just difficult. So when you're looking at it that way, it was like, I don't really know what I'm doing at this point. And then I had a batch of pegs, but material prices started going crazy. I started getting quotes for making a new batch because of the rate that I sell them at. And I knew what it was then. I mean, I went through a batch like every 6 months. And I'm selling them, and I'm looking at my inventory, and I'm looking at the price to get new ones made, and it was going to cost me $20 a piece to have them made. $22. Well, I'm selling them at $20.
So you're not.
I literally can't make these right now.
You're not making enough profit off.
Well,
of it.
I don't need to make a ton of profit. I need to make enough money that I can afford to then give more away. It's a break-even venture. It's all for fun, you know?
Oh.
It's debatably not a company. It's more of a hobby.
Yeah.
If you're not doing it to make money, it's not a business. You know what I mean? So it's something that like I need to be able to sell them so that I can make enough money to cover the cost of giving some away at events and to other people and like whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So unless I can sell them for $30 a piece, there was no doing it. So I just stopped promoting them. And I still sold a bunch, but slowed down because I'm not promoting it. Then we decide to move back here, and everything goes into storage for 2 years. So now it's like 3 years deep that I haven't ordered a new batch of pegs, running on like bare bones leftovers. I don't even have current pricing. I don't know what it would be. And you know, no traction. I just stopped posting and promoting. Why post if I have nothing to promote? And I can't. It's harder to get people to send stuff to promote or to post if there's nothing to promote. Like, it's kind of like both ways, and then you're like, I don't know. Like, I'm not really riding. You know, half the time you're getting content because you're out there too. And I was detached. So it's just crazy, you know? Mm-hmm. Like just spirals on itself until the brand isn't super relevant.
Yeah.
And you're making a decision. Is this a media company? Is it a bike brand? Should it just dissolve and go away? Like what is it at this point? But the ultimate thought, the reality of it is it facilitates doing good things for the scene, and that needs to keep happening.
Yeah.
It's a mechanism for doing good things for the scene.
It's a philosophy in a sense.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think the one direction that might have to go, and I don't know yet, is overseas production. If it helps make good things happen for the scene, it's a worthwhile trade-off.
Yeah.
If it doesn't make things better, then it's a hard pass. But like there were things I looked at years ago. I wanted to get grips done, and there was 1,000 pair minimum. And I'm like, well, I'm pretty sure I could move 50 pairs pretty easily.
Yeah.
And then I would struggle to move another 50 pairs. And then I'd have 900 pairs left that I don't know what to do with.
I mean,
You know what I mean? Like,
Wow.
what are you gonna do?
Is that a thousand grips like?
No, 1,000 pairs.
Oh, okay, okay. I thought it was like per grip.
No.
God damn.
But like, you know what I mean? Like 50, I think I could move 50. Now the challenge with grips is they either have to be ODI knockoffs or no one's gonna buy them anyway.
Yeah, but isn't mostly any grip mostly all just ODI, like same compound, same everything?
I mean, yeah, and even half of them are like the same design at this point.
Because even like for tires, it's mostly all coming from the same company. It's just different molds
Mm-hmm.
with a different brand logo on it.
Half of them are catalog designs. Like there's catalogs out there from these manufacturers, and you can just choose, I want this with this logo on it. And then they make a bunch for you. Like there's pedals that my friend James used to have made branded with Weston Cycles that he had them for years. And they were picked out of a catalog. He gave them a logo. You order them. They show up here and you can flip them and sell them. And then years later, I think it was Shadow or one like that. They were on some of their completes. And then they were selling them at Interbike when I went. And I'm like, taking a picture of them, like, these are your pedals, dude.
Wow.
But, you know, you just put your logo on it.
Yeah.
I'm sure they tell you, too. Like, if I'm like, hey, I want this pedal with my logo on it, they'll be like, you know, well, this company and that company are already doing it. Or
Yeah.
no one's using that one right now.
Yeah, like a whole copyright type of thing.
Well, it's not copyright. You're buying their catalog item, and they brand it however you want. It's not like a stolen design or anything like that, but it's just funny when you know that.
Yeah.
And that's not everyone. Like a lot of companies like Odyssey and stuff are doing their own designs. Tires, I don't know to what degree that's happening. That one's a little harder to do, although it's just a little heat patch. You know, it wouldn't be difficult for one company to make a tire for a while and that go away, and then just someone else comes out with one with a different colorway and a new style and heat patch, and you're like, oh, that looks a lot like this other tire that was here years ago. And you're like, yep, it does. We were inspired by it.
It's the same thing, just slightly different.
Not even. So, but yeah, that happens quite a bit. So you can do that stuff, but I wouldn't want to do it that way.
I mean, even if you did the whole grips thing and just like got people to pre-order it before you got it, like.
But there's no way I'm moving 1,000. Like, here's the thing: if they have to be ODI style, then why do it in the first place? Just go buy ODI grips. What do I want to ride?
True. I mean, I don't.
I hated long necks for so long, and it's like the only grip I'll ride now.
I don't ride ODI though. I ride the Holder grips. Honestly,
I don't like soft compounds.
Alright.
So I won't even ride the soft ODIs. I have to ride the hard ones. I had a good arrangement with friend Tommy a handful of years ago before I moved to Pittsburgh, where it was before ODI had the soft compound, and he only liked worn-in grips. So he would buy new grips and give them to me. I would ride them for a month, and then he would use those and just get me a different pair of grips. And then he only wanted the worn-in ones, but he didn't want them like worn completely in, just softened. It was funny. That was an awesome gig. I liked that.
So you remember when you had the ice house and like I think I had like unsealed bearings on my front wheel, so it was completely like just would wobble all over the place. They're like, hey, I got this wheel. It's a little bit better. It's sealed at least, and it'll actually like hold up. I'll sell it to you for like $20, whatever. But I always had like a clown looking bike, like mismatched parts, and that's literally how I've always been ever since you've known me. And people ask me like, why does your bike look like it's like mismatched?
Because it is.
I've always rode like that. Ever since I started riding, my bike has always been mismatched parts. Don't know why. It's just, to me, it looks good.
Well, and it's what you get too. Like sometimes I feel like people don't realize or consider that, like, okay, I needed a stem and I went to the bike shop and all they had was a purple stem that I liked, right? I could have got black, but the one I liked was purple. All right, fine, I'm getting the purple one. And then, hey, I need grips. Well, what grips do you want? The Hodor grips. Okay. Well, I only have them in blue or something this time. All right, fine, give me them. Like, oh, what pedals do you want? Oh, we only got them in red.
Yeah.
All right, I'll run them. I don't care. And then you look at your bike and you're just like, all right.
Yeah, but it functions like a regular bicycle, so what's it matter?
Right.
As long as it functions.
It doesn't matter.
Nah, it really doesn't.
So I used to joke when I would help Derek out at HCS, people like he would only stock black because it's easy. And
probably can sell a lot.
Well, because if you can buy, like, some companies, and we'll use Odyssey as an example, but they're not the only ones guilty of it, put out so many different versions of the twisted PCs and special editions and special colorways, but they come out with a new one every 6 months. By the time the bike shops see them, can get their orders in for the limited edition ones,
there's already the other order.
The next ones are already out, and the people already want like the next one. They don't even want the ones that are available. So it's not beneficial for the bike shops to keep having like, oh, I gotta keep all the new colorways and the special editions. No, you don't. I'll just take the black ones. And if someone wants something else, order it yourself. But it's a tactic to get you to buy more parts even when you don't need them. Oh, now I really like that colorway, or oh, that special edition's really cool. Maybe I'll take these ones off and I'll run these ones in the springtime and those ones whatever. Yeah, then you start doing that and you're like, oh, I want the new special edition ones.
Because even like when I was up at Rockies, I was looking at all the Hodor bars or this, that, da da da. I was like, I don't need any parts, but those bars are looking.
So the pedal colorway thing was one thing for a while that just drove money, right?
Yeah.
Like if you're always upselling, not because people need it, but because they want it, then that drives money. Then tire sizes, as they went up by 0.05 inches, like every 6 months, it was normal to have 195s up to 2.1s. And then you still had some like Max Daddies and stuff were always 2.25, but it wasn't common. So then you started like 2.15, 2.2. They were months apart. And then 2.25, and then 2.3, and 2.35, 2.4. And you're like, you upsold us tires to the next size up every 3 months for a year and a half.
because they know that young
And-
kids will be like,
Impressionable.
yeah,
Handlebars, same thing. Every 6 months went up by a quarter of an inch. Because you were at, like, S&M slam bars were the big bars for a long time. They were 8 inches tall and the tallest bars available. Then you started getting like Grand Slams, 8 1/4. Oh man, we gotta, we'll try that. Then crept up to 8 1/2, and people bought new bars because, oh man, that's got to be even better. 8.75, 9, 9 1/4, 9 1/2, 9 3/4, perfect tens. Like, it's an upsell.
I remember when I went to.
And then they started getting so big that you started, okay, well now the bars are so tall that I'm going to go from a top load stem to a front load stem to lower them. Are you serious? Why don't you just run lower bars? Like, it's just crazy, but it's little things, and you got to be on the current trend and everything.
Yeah.
Anyway, the point of the comment that I started was, I used to tell everyone, like, we only have it in black, but if it's really a deal breaker, I'll give you the $3 to go get a can of Krylon and I'll paint it for you.
The whole, like, the big bars thing you were talking about. When I went to Woodward, there was some, I don't remember who he was, but like I think they had, like, at the shop they had like perfect 12s or something like that, like the newest, like, highest bars you can get, and they're like ape hangers. Kid went out, bought them, and then proceeded to put them on his bike, and literally was riding like this with the top load stem.
Well, you got 12-year-olds with 30-inch wide bars at that point, and you're like, that's not effective.
No, you can't bar spin. You hardly can turn the bars without hitting yourself.
Mm-hmm.
There's no point in having 30-some wide bars.
Mine are cut to 26.
Mine are cut. I don't even really know. All I know is they're cut down enough to where, like, if I wanted to, I could throw a bar spin, even though I don't do bar spins or crank flips.
You do bar spins. Don't kid yourself.
I don't. Pick up bars.
Pick up bars, but you do them out of flyouts.
Yeah, but I mean,
it's like kind of close. You're getting there,
I need to man up and just throw them.
See, I think you're better at them than I am at this point. I had my day with bar spins. I don't ride enough now, and every time I'm like, nah, I don't know. I don't feel like it.
Like, I can hop X Factor, but, like, I can't hop throw bar because it just it terrifies me.
No, you got pretty good at the pickup bar thing, though.
Yeah. Amateur detritus trick.
It is what it is. So we talked a lot about your, like, history, your inner workings, how you got to where you're at. What's next for Jake the Hippie?
Ride bikes more, travel more.
Yeah, travel more. That is
Definitely
for sure.
Travel more. Because even coming out here was like, okay, like, breath of fresh air. Like,
It feels like it's
else.
really only been the last year, like from Instagram and stuff. Anyway, only the last year have you really started traveling.
I think, honest to God, I think this is the reason why. After I got into my accident with my Corolla and it got totaled, honest to God, I think that getting the 4Runner was a blessing in disguise for me to travel more, because the thing has so much more room where I can be like, all right, worst case scenario, just sleep in the truck.
Mm-hmm.
And I can just go wherever and not have to worry. Throw a cooler in there, throw some food in there, drinks, all right, I'm good. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Where with the Corolla was like, throw 2 bikes in there, you're crammed. You have me and then whoever else with me up front also crammed.
Mm-hmm.
With a rice rocket exhaust where it's just whee the entire time, where it's just like, that was the worst thing I could honestly did to that car.
Yeah. Well,
But like,
details.
But with having the 4Runner now, where it's just the ultimate just shaggin' wagon cruiser, where I can just throw my bike in there and just go wherever I want and not have to worry, is literally just top notch.
I feel like the first place that it looked like was like, oh, you actually like left town and went on a trip was it this year that you went to 9th Street Jam? Or was it last year you went to 9th Street Jam? Last year.
I think it was last year.
I mean, this year was only like a month ago. So I think it was last year. I was like, oh, cool, you got out to it. I've never been to 9th Street.
Yeah, last year.
Yeah, so probably the last year that you've been traveling a little bit more.
I think it was the year before that.
Okay.
Because this is when me and Boots and Louder went to, same day we went to Cleveland to go to that DIY that's under the bridge.
Okay. See, it's like weird because in the winter time, like you'll travel more to go to like indoor parks, but that never really feels like traveling.
Nah.
Like even going to Rays, it's just going to Rays.
Yeah,
But in the summer, if you took a trip to Cleveland, you're like, oh, you went to Cleveland to ride. It's like totally different. Interesting. Though, like, do you have anything that you really want to do then, as far as trips go?
What like trips I want to go on?
Yeah.
New York, like not New York City, New York, but like more like kind of up near this way a little bit more. Like my buddy, Ricky 530 Ride It, I think his Instagram is.
Yeah.
He's asked me to come up this way to ride, so I want to come up here and ride some of these state parks that are up this way.
So you want to check out like Breaking Free?
Yeah.
And there.
And I want to go. Honestly, I really don't know. Wherever the wind takes me, I guess.
Send it. I want to get to the Nowhere Jam this year.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Cornhucket, because that is the last one they're doing of that particular jam.
I made a note in my calendar to go to that because
I think it's September 14th, but I'm not sure offhand.
It's a few days right before my birthday, so like that'd be like a perfect like I'm going to go here for my birthday, trip.
Yeah, I want to do that. I have to figure out if I want to drive it or fly.
Yeah,
it's a long haul. But if I can time it right, it might make perfect sense to drive.
Yeah.
So we need to make a trip to Florida. If you haven't ridden there ever, you should go to Kona.
I need to take a trip down to Florida to hit Kona. And all the other parks that are down there.
Spot is cool. I used to know a bunch of people in Clearwater, but I really it's one of those things that I don't know if they still ride even, but they were like heavy into the GrindWorks Instagram at its founding. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I haven't really seen anything from them. But the one dude had my favorite Instagram name was Vagina Meat Wings.
That's one hell of a name.
Yeah, well, he was a heck of a guy.
Just by the Instagram tag sounds fucking like a character.
Yeah, it was good. Those dudes were cool. I never got to really ride with them though. Like, I met them.
Yeah.
I was down there for work in Clearwater, and they like swung over by the hotel. Like, we hung out for a little while, but that was about it.
Well, the other thing is I've been working on this edit to try to get my name out there more,
Mm-hmm.
or potential hookup, sponsor me. But like, I finally got it all done. And I'm just waiting for my buddy to like finalize everything. Once it's finalized and everything, like I'm probably just gonna drop it out onto YouTube as like a legit edit. Because it's nothing, it's legitimately like, I don't want to say bangers, I don't want to sound braggadocious, whatever you want to call it.
Well, I feel like that it also, Bangers sets a bar for people that doesn't always make sense.
Yeah.
And
Like this. Like, even though it's just mini mega, like 40-mile-per-hour winds, it's still terrifying.
yep,
And
that's sick.
nobody else wanted to hit it because it was 40-mile-per-hour winds and no brakes.
Yeah, well, winds is not exactly super fun.
Yeah. Usually more push to clear it.
I'm looking at, like, obviously you want to get your name out there more. I mean, we've mentioned who you are, but your Instagram is Jake The Hippie __ official. It looks like it's multiple underscores.
I don't think it. I think it's just regular, just one underscore.
Because it's twice as long as the underscore under it. I think it's 2. That's 1, that's 2. Pretty sure. Because you used to be Jake _ the Hippie, but now you're Jake The Hippie __ official. Oh, you're not official. You know your name is misspelled? It's a fickle.
Oopsies.
Are we fixing that? Are we fixing that now?
I guess I'm going to have to. Oops.
You know, it's okay. You're not the first person that I've caught that with on their Instagram page.
How the fuck do I fix that?
I've never noticed that before. It's hard to notice it because you don't have to type it the whole way. Like, you type JAK and it fills it in. You're like, all right, cool.
How do I do that?
Let's see. Let's see how we get this fixed. It would be, is it under Account Center?
Yeah.
And then we just choose that profile. And then username. And then we add the I. 2 underscores.
It's not 2 underscores.
It is 2 underscores. Got them in between them.
Oh, I guess there is.
I think you. All right. So now we're officially changed. Jake The Hippie official is different now. You know, anytime I see official, it always makes me a little suspect.
Why is that?
Because it doesn't. I don't know. It's just like, oh, really? That's what a bot account would say.
It's whatever.
All right. Anyway, anyone that tried to search for that, it's wrong now. It's Jake The Hippie _ official.
Well, I think honestly, if you just type in Jake the Hippie, that account's gonna pop up automatically.
Probably. But it's still nice to be accurate.
Yeah.
Do you know I don't follow you? All right. Fixed.
All right, now I'm on
Fixed.
I'm unfollowed GrindWorks now.
All right, good. You wouldn't be the only one. Aside from travel, I guess like we were talking earlier, trying to figure out how you can mix work in with travel. Maybe a service type job, that's probably it.
See, that or I blow up enough on Instagram where I'm like an Instagram influencer and start making big bucks off of that.
I don't know if Instagram is the move. I mean, at that point, see, I don't know enough about the inner workings of YouTube,
Yeah.
but I feel like YouTube is the move. And the only person I know that really knows that well is Brant.
Well, yeah, because like he knows how to like clickbait it, like a little bit enough
Well,
where.
So it's more than like I should do better, but I don't. I suck real bad at doing like the podcast onto YouTube and everything. I'm in my brain, I'm telling myself once I'm like really set up and I can do these properly with video again and everything, that we can do a good job.
Yeah.
And I'll have to edit them again and put good titles on and do like, you know, the cover photo or the thumbnail. Do a good job with a good thumbnail that like does make you want to click it.
Yeah.
But the reality is, like, the algorithm is not going to show my video to as many people because my channel is not monetized. And at this point, I understand and know that. Like, if it's not going to draw ad revenue for them, then why are they going to show it to more people?
Yeah, you're not wrong about that either.
Now, if it is going to show it to them, or if it is going to draw ad revenue, they're going to show it to as many relevant accounts as they can based on your probability to click on a link like that and watch a similar video. That's how it is. But I don't use catchy titles. I don't make custom thumbnails. At the same time, like, these are things that take a lot of extra effort when it's not my primary gig. I've got a very busy full-time job with a lot of travel. When I get to do fun things like a podcast episode or other GrindWorks videos and different stuff, it's not because I'm trying to grow that to make money. I'm trying to showcase something. And, you know, the other side of that, like the algorithm thing, the algorithm is going to be better at showing it to people that are going to watch it than I am. You know, I can put this out and I can send the link to every single one of my friends and tell them to watch it. And they might go click the like. Like if a quarter of them went and just clicked like and didn't watch it, then that tells the algorithm that it wasn't entertaining because they did not watch it.
Yeah, just somehow YouTube knows of like you're watching it and actually like watching the whole thing.
But even still, is it beneficial to even send it to a bunch of people that aren't interested in the content? I don't think it is. I mean, the people that are going to watch it and be interested probably already follow it. And then that's also, like I mentioned, you know, you wouldn't be the only one joking about the unfollowing thing. That's not a joke. There's a lot of people that I know that unfollow the account. And I've said this before, but I used to have an app on my phone to track who I lost.
It's a little creepy.
Well, but it wasn't about that. It's because I could look at new followers simply in a this is the new followers and look at all the new follows instead of it being sprinkled through other notifications and track some other different metrics in that regard. It was just an advanced metrics thing. But you could look at new followers. You could look at lost followers. And lost followers was always interesting because you'd be like, why did I, you know, we still went up net. Maybe I got 100 new follows that month.
Yeah.
But I lost 50. So net, I'm only up 50. But you're like, okay, why did I lose 50? And you're like, okay, clearly bot account, bot account, bot account, bot account. Person I talked to yesterday. Okay. That was weird. They followed. They immediately unfollowed. Interesting, right? Just like take note of it. Then have a conversation with that person a few days later. They follow again. You check the thing, and a day or two later, unfollow again. And you're like, this is bizarre. Why is this person unfollowing me?
Like a love-hate relationship.
Well, it's kind of like you start to take it at first. I'm like taking it personal. I'm like, why are you so two-faced, right? And then I started really thinking about it, and I'm like, okay, maybe they're trying to show support, but they simply don't want to consume the content that I post. And maybe them following me is skewing their algorithm and showing them even more content like mine instead of the content they want to see. So, like, I totally get that, though. You know, there's certain people that, like, you're friends with that you don't want to follow. I don't want to look at your garbage. You know, some people, it might not be Instagram. It might be like Facebook. And all they're doing is posting family drama. Day in, day out. And you're just like, I want to unfriend you. Because I don't want to read any more about you. I don't care. At all.
I don't have. I mean, after my account got deleted, it deleted my Facebook too.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, I don't have Facebook anymore.
Yeah.
So,
well, you're not missing out on anything.
It's just a bunch of boomers arguing all the time.
So that's the like really interesting thing, though, for me. Was coming to that realization, though, that it's not. But then I said also, like, I don't want this app anymore. At the point that you're like using it, you're looking at it, and you're like kind of consumed by the unfollows more than the growth of the channel. And then trying to figure out, well, why? Like, okay, this whole thing is unhealthy.
Yeah. Well, no, because that's the other thing that's been like going through my head is like, social media doesn't really fucking matter in a sense because all it is just like, you know, chemical in your brain like I want follows, I want likes, I want comments, da da da. When really
it's diminishing return.
Yeah. When really all that matters is just going out and just meeting new people and actually making new friends other than just relying on social media to... I
like it as a platform to document the past.
Yeah.
Now, I don't like that it's not theoretically perpetual, and that at any given point your account could just disappear. The service could cease to exist. They could just decide that the platform isn't profitable anymore and just do away with it. Anything like that. So if you don't have other backups of it, but like I don't need it from a standpoint of like, oh, let me put this out so that I can get a bunch of like positive affirmations. I don't care.
I mean, the only thing that I really care about is capturing like what I've been doing. And,
right. But for what? Right? Like it's a very convenient tool. If I want to go, oh, I did this cool thing, let me share it with you, that I can pull it up quickly because it's all in one spot. It's not saved on my phone, but it's all in one quick spot. I can thumb through it and go, oh yeah, right here. Check this thing out. So it's cool in that regard, but in the moment, it just doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And it's all algorithm. So that was something we talked about a little bit right before we started this, was that algorithm and timing your posts. And I was saying I used to do so many a day, but I would do them at like 9, 11:30, and I think like 4:30. I know we're rapping, Jake. I got it.
I'm just so tired.
I know. Well, you
4-hour drive out here.
What time did you leave?
I left around.
Because you showed up around like maybe 2, so probably like
9. I think I left my house around 9. Got gas somewhere in the middle of nowhere out here. And then.
Oh, maybe you got there at like 1. You weren't that late.
I got around like 2, maybe 3-ish.
Yeah.
Sat in my car for like 15-20 minutes trying to figure out like, are they yelling at me to like go park in like an actual parking spot? Because I heard everybody yelling, but I couldn't figure out whether they were yelling at the people hitting the ramps or yelling at me to like.
It didn't matter. It didn't matter.
You gotta move your fucking truck, you fucking idiot.
Both.
Probably both.
Man. I know, my eyes too. Oh, what are we doing? We were talking Instagram crap and posting. Yeah, I don't know. Instagram's stupid though.
Yeah.
Like timing it is so much work or so little work, all just to play into an algorithm, and timing it with like that was so those times were mostly because of most recent too though. It was less algorithm based at that point. It was all like I posted it at this time so that I'm in potentially the top 20 posts that you'll scroll through next.
Yeah. Plus,
now it doesn't matter. You'll be like scrolling, and within the first 3 posts you look at, it'll show you something from 3 days ago that says tomorrow. And you're like, thanks for telling me, you stupid algorithm.
It's that, and I'm also like starting to figure out like, okay, this song is trending. I'll use the trend. Well, because I usually try to pick songs that kind of go with the writing. Because like I do kind of like editing my own videos to the video or to music, but I like editing to like the right type of like music.
But always doing something trending so that it's just like picked right up.
It kind of depends, because like I can go from like, you know, rap to like old school hip hop to you know, from like say Big L or Wu-Tang Clan or whatever to like, you know, punk like CKY or whatever, and put it into the writing where whatever music, I think, is going along with the edit choice that I made out for, like the B-roll plus the actual riding. Whatever I think fits with that riding is whatever audio I'm going to
Do you
put
like
into it.
B-roll?
Yeah. That's how, I mean, most all the videos that I have are all start off with B-roll. Or sometimes I try to get creative with it where I can like loop it back around where it doesn't seem like it stops, where it just like loops
Yep.
and continues going. But yeah.
I've never liked B-roll. I've used it ironically before, but there was like a period of time with BMX DVDs that everything got really artsy, and it was kind of like, well, look, I'm watching the bike video for the bike tricks.
Yeah.
Let's keep it focused.
Or it could be like FBM, like Albert Street style, where it's like a little bit of jackass in there in between,
Yeah.
like busting, beer cans across your head.
Right,
and then,
but even that is like, it's B-roll. I'm here for the bike riding. Which is very, I don't know. I mean, I feel like I've shifted a little bit from that, but not a ton.
Or you can be like LSD riders. Light your hair on fire, and then basic trick.
Yeah. See, I'm not about it.
I don't know. I like the creativity side of the whole editing aspect, and then the creativity side of also riding. I guess that's kind of like why I ride the way I do.
I like the editing. I like, yawn. I like editing to music. I like making it all fit together. I like audio blends and how if you cut. So I generally edit on the computer, except for like little Instagram cuts. I won't bother.
Yeah.
But I never put music to Instagram cuts either. It's just easier to have nothing. But like on a computer, you might trim the clip so that this clip and the next clip work really well with the music and the beat. But there may have been like an audio clip, like a yeah or something that you really needed it to run a half a second longer, but now the clips don't work right.
Yeah.
So you'll trim the clip and then you'll also leave the audio long. So it'll blend. You'll hear the full yeah, but you're already into the next clip and it just becomes really natural. And then there's other things like direction, like if someone exits the screen going right, that sometime, like depending on the way that it's working and flowing, you may have them come back in from the right. But it has to be like with enough time that it makes sense after they left the screen for them to come back into it. Just there's a whole bunch of little things that like really make a video feel good.
Yeah.
Because it's real weird if someone like, if you were watching a video and every clip was filmed where you were not in the screen and then you came in from the left and every clip you exited right and then it was like back from the left, you'd be like, this is bizarre. And like that's a function of your filmers too. Like some people will film like everything is B-roll in, B-roll out, or like a pan to the ground or a pan to a flower, a pan from a flower, and they're like, okay, that was cool and we needed like a transition piece. But that was just a clip and now I can't use it. Because instead of watching me roll away or instead of like filming the trick I did right after it, you pan to the ground. Thank you. Thanks for that.
No, because like how Harley films it, he's usually the one that films like all my peach clips. Or I film him. It differs. But like, because he'll film me doing whatever I'm doing. Say like, Indy 270 the hip, and then, or alley oop 270 the hip. air the quarter, and then ice pick the ledge, and then he'll pan off from that and B-roll. So I can use that as either cut it B-roll or just leave it as is to loop it. We'll loop it as a ender clip where it looks like it just loops back around.
Right. I know people that do that with every clip they film, and you're like, this is not everything is going to pan from the ground, or like, and it's usually like close to the clip too, right?
Yeah.
It's not like I pan off of this cool thing to you and give you 2 seconds to ride up to finish the trick so that I can either pan in or you can just cut it off. It's always like pan right into the bunny hop into the trick, and like you ruin the clip by doing that. Or you've got someone that just totally doesn't understand any artsy thing or how to follow, and it's just like terrible.
Yeah. Because, like,
phone has made that a lot easier. I don't know if you ever dealt with filming on cameras.
nah.
So that was always a nightmare because every camera is different. So you got to give someone a quick rundown. Here's how the zoom works. Here's how this works. Here's where start stop is. Like all these little details. Don't touch this focus button. Like leave it on auto. Blah, blah, blah. I set it up. Stand here. Film from here. Like because you've got the lens and everything. And it's you can't just like zoom in, zoom out, go to wide angle without changing lenses.
Yeah.
And you really have to explain this to someone or your clip's going to come out bad. And half the time, your clip just came out bad because that person didn't know how to use your camera. So, like everything we went and filmed was with my camera and we did a whole video, everyone's part will be okay except for mine.
Because whoever filmed it fucked
Because
it up.
I knew how my camera worked, and everyone I had to hand the camera to film my stuff
Had no clue
was not good at it. Yeah. So that's like funny in a way, but it's true.
Yeah.
And it's something that you guys haven't really had to deal with from a phone era of filming.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing is like whenever I'm riding somewhere.
Oh, vertical versus horizontal though. That's a phone era problem.
Yeah. Like what James, yeah, because he was filming like this. I'm like, yeah, just film it.
No, never vertical.
Up.
Never vertical.
Up like that. Like.
No, don't do it. Wrong.
Yeah, whatever.
Vertical video syndrome. There's a video on it. Which way do your eyes go? Are they on top of each other or next to each other?
Technically, you see everything upside down, but your retina flips it all vertical, so you see it all like the.
I'm just gonna say TVs, computer screens, movie theaters, everything's horizontal.
Yeah.
You can tell every time someone films vertical and then it does like the stupid blurry side thing just to fill the screen, but it's all garbage.
$50. $50.
Don't film vertical.
$50.
I hate like Instagram Reels for that. And TikTok and Snapchat started it. Snapchat ruined it. People.
I know
filming
Snapchat was doing that, but then again, I literally only use Snapchat to Snapchat my friends, and that's literally it.
Instagram used to only be square crop and 10 seconds or 15 seconds or
You mean
something.
like this, or like
it didn't matter which way you filmed it; it would square crop.
Oh,
it.
yeah, I know what you're talking about now. Where it still would have like the cutout.
Yeah, it was just square. And I kind of liked that. It was kind of neat that it was all only square. But, then we got with it. and you can post vertical or horizontal, then everything just went vertical because you can see it better on your screen because it fits, but it makes it impossible to make real videos out of it and put it on YouTube.
Yeah. Unless you upload it as a reel. Or like or what?
A short.
Yeah, a short.
Yeah, right, but that's not a real video.
No, it's literally like a 15-second.
So typically, just record long lens because you can always crop. If you filmed at long lens, you can always crop it to a short. But if you film vertical, you can't crop back horizontal. You just lose everything.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't like it. No filming vertical. I don't do it. I can post it on a story horizontal too. So that's my 2 cents on it. I know it's not algorithm friendly. But what else you got, Jake? What are you doing? You want anything special? Any shout outs?
Shout out to all my friends.
I got
all my haters.
Yeah. Got a couple things I was going to ask you. One of them, I want to wait because I had another thing. I forget what it was. All right, fine. We'll just do it. I haven't done this question in a while, and I don't normally. I used to like it, but I remember what the other question is. All right, it's on hold. But I used to end every podcast with the one question, so we'll go there. What outside of bike riding? What are you into?
More bike riding. I don't do anything outside of bike riding. I legitimately that's
your only thing.
That's mostly it. I mean,
I agree.
Other than that, like hang around, like wintertime comes around, whatever, like I don't feel like riding that day, hang out with one of my buddies, go around and bullshit at the mall, be a mall rat for the day.
That's normal.
Or
I had nothing, like I had no other answer for that probably when I was your age either. It was all BMX, only BMX.
That's all I legitimately do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, might be boring to some people, but like, it's just like my happy place.
Mm-hmm.
After work, literally after work every day, I go out to the beach and ride. And then during the weekends, like, all right, there's this gym going on in New York or whatever. All right, bet I'm going to go to it because I'm off for 3 days. I might as well go somewhere.
Yeah. That shifts over time. Like, for example, we had the ice house, built a lot of ramps there, start getting good at doing that stuff. Then you start building more stuff outside of work, and then all of a sudden you like doing woodworking. And you're like, I don't know why I like woodworking, but I'm not bad at it. It's kind of fun. It feels like BMXy from a standpoint, but I have zero interest in like doing construction. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's kind of a fun thing that like offshoot from BMX.
I'm like, all right, well,
but
the one thing that interests me outside of BMX is like drawing. Like, if I'm really, really bored, I'll start just doodling. Like, just even at work, like, because most of the times I think I might have like undiagnosed ADD or ADHD because I'll just wander off. But like, if I have a pen and I can find a paper, I'll literally just start sitting there and just like doodle whatever comes to my mind. Or if anything, it'll just be line, and then start going from there and do whatever. But like, other than that, BMX.
But that doesn't seem like it's like it's not a passion.
Nah, man.
Like
Creators.
Jash, you would definitely say does art as a passion. Like he's painting, he loves doing it.
Yeah.
I don't. It's not a bad thing that you don't have anything else. Like I would not have had an answer for that either. So then the other one you may not have an answer for, but it's fun if you do. What's your favorite conspiracy theory?
The Earth is flat. There's ice walls surrounding us, and it's just a flat Earth. The government is a lie. Bush did 9/11.
She got lots of them.
Oh, I am a big conspiracy theorist.
Okay, go.
If the sky is blue, the ocean is blue. Does that mean we're living underwater? I mean, think about it. Wouldn't that kind of make sense? Let me think of what else like stoner theory that everybody will think I'm an absolute stoner. Alright, this is actually a good one. People actually do believe this one. It's a cartoon theory, but you know how Scooby-Doo is? Alright, so Shaggy obviously is a hippie. He's avoiding draft. Velma, isn't Velma the one with the glasses? I think.
Mm-hmm.
She's I forget what she's avoiding, like her family or something like that, because she's a protester, against, war, violence, whatever. And then Daphne is what the rich preppy one.
Yeah.
She's avoiding it because she's avoiding it with Tim or whatever the hell the other dude's name is. Fred. Because Fred's avoiding draft because he's a rich preppy dude and doesn't believe that he has to fight. And they're all driving around in the van avoiding all these monsters, which are supposedly supposed to be like the draft or like a nuclear fallout or whatever the hell it is. That's a major theory that everybody believes. Or the SpongeBob theory. I forget. It was some sort of like nuclear fallout thing, and that's why all the fish, like SpongeBob fish, can all talk and da 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 da. But I'm not a theorist at all.
I mean, all cartoon animals talk, so it's like kind of a weird one. There was a website that edited Garfield out of all the Garfield cartoons. But I like that conceptually, that Garfield didn't actually exist and John was just a sad, lonely, depressed guy talking to himself.
Oh, there's another one from Rugrats.
That Phil and Lil.
Yeah, that
were
made up and what's her name's head.
Yes.
And it was all just played out, and the mom or dad killed them all, and
Yeah, and Angelica was the only real one.
Yeah. Or Ed, and Eddie. Did you ever hear that theory?
Maybe.
Where they're all Ed, and Eddie are all living in, what the fuck do you call it? Like turmoil, where like to keep on failing at what they're they try to get money to buy job breaks or whatever. They're living in turmoil, and it's their, I don't know, like it's their version of hell basically, where everybody down there everybody's all the same age, through all the seasons they're all the same age, same area, same everything, and that's just like they died at whatever age that they are at, and like that's just their turmoil or whatever the hell you want to call it. That's another
Purgatory.
Theory. Yeah,
Right.
Purgatory. That's what it is. I'm not religious, so I don't know what it's called, but that's like another cartoon theory that I've heard. I can't think of anything else off the top of my head right
Yeah,
now.
you seem like a conspiracy theorist.
Oh, I'm a big conspiracy theorist.
I don't know. Cartoon conspiracy theories. They're more like fan theories, but I like them too.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them that get like really crazy with the Disney lines where it's like this interconnects with that, interconnects with this, and
I mean,
like goes full circle.
even if you look at all the movies, you can see like
Yeah, it's like they either allude to the next one or it's like a throwback to an old one.
exactly like in Toy Story, you can see Nemo in one of the rooms, and then like in Nemo, you can see Toy Story and whatever this and that, blah blah blah.
There was an interesting Peter Pan one that I don't remember. I remember that there's something about it, but I don't remember what it was.
Oh, did you hear about what's that island called? It's at Disneyland, but it's abandoned. Like Disneyland abandoned itself because I get this was like back in the 70s, something like that. I guess there was something like found in the water there, like at the pool that was like a flesh-eating disease or
Yeah.
could eat your brain, something like that, and one of the kids died from it. But the theory is that Disney has a reptilian dinosaur hidden on that island. That's completely hidden away from all civilization. The only way you can get to it is if you boat out to it, or if you have the balls enough to swim out to it with gator-infested waters.
So it's Jurassic Park.
Yeah, and some YouTuber did it, like boated out there during COVID. Dude's not big. I don't even know what his name is. Boated out to the island, and then was it some sort of survivalist, knew how to camp and everything. Camped out there, and then walked past one of the motion sensor cameras that they have set up out there, and then called the cops. Like it automatically called the cops, like, "Hey, there's somebody on you guys' island." Da da da. But the dude's theory was like, "Oh, Disney's just trying to hide this reptilian dinosaur thing that can eat humans and da da da," which really is all false. Like, yes, Disney used to have animals on that island, like potentially extinct animals, like parrots that are going extinct or whatever. But there was no such thing as a reptilian dinosaur or whatever brouhaha that he was trying to proclaim.
That you know of.
That you know of, because even if there was, it was said that it would kill you if it got a hold of you. So if there is, nobody knows, you're dead. But the dude ended up getting caught because I guess he hid out in the woods from the police helicopter and everything, and then he somehow swam back undetected. Didn't get eaten by alligators at all. But the cops arrested his fiancée or something like that, or threatened to arrest his fiancée unless he turned himself in.
Mm-hmm.
So he was like, "All right, I'll turn myself in." Turned himself in. He had $100,000 bond or whatever, and then he's permanently banned from Disneyland because he wanted to go on that abandoned island and explore a dinosaur fucking thing that doesn't exist.
I don't know why else would they go after him if it doesn't exist, Jake.
Maybe
it's gotta exist.
We need to do a GrindWorks expedition. The dinosaur island.
Yeah, I don't think I have a favorite conspiracy theory. I've tried to answer this question before.
9/11. Bush did 9/11. Even though, who am I to say, because I was still a toddler at that time.
Yep. There's a lot of stuff. Tower 7.
There was explosions in those towers.
Tower 7 wasn't hit. And it still collapsed.
Those planes were apparently Boeing 777's military planes that flew into it, not actually pedestrian planes. Because people supposedly claim that they saw two military planes fly into the towers and not, the Boeing 757s or whatever it was.
What did I see a couple weeks ago? I sent an interesting conspiracy theory to a friend, and I don't remember what it was offhand, but I'm gonna find it real quick.
Or did you ever see the video of these colleges? They were in their dorm during the 9/11 attack. They were, whatever reason, they were filming this. They're like, oh, haha, mom, it's just tea or whatever that's in the bottle. They were, obviously drinking liquor, and then all you hear them go is like, oh my god, and pans over and the plane's going straight through the fucking building.
Okay. The interesting one is that everyone that was supposedly on the Challenger is alive.
How's that theory go then?
Well, conceptually, it would be related to kind of blowing up. Like, if you didn't really ever go into space and now you've got teachers and other stuff all trying to go into space, that you blow up a spaceship, you extract the people, and then you just move them back into society under witness protection type stuff. Like, it's weird, but they have I don't know. I mean, do you really believe it? I don't know.
I don't know.
I'll let you listen to it, but there's like for like people with the same or very similar names with the same birthdays and identical photos that exist still.
That's a little creepy.
That you can find, and they're all...
So what? So supposedly they sent a rocket up with nobody in it, blew it up, and then all you guys can go into witness protection now, and your names are going to be erased from society. Why would they want to do that then? Unless these people knew something.
Listen, here's my problem with a lot of these big conspiracy theories like that. You know how hard it is to keep a secret between two people?
Now just imagine now fucking 50 or 100 or whatever.
Thousands to coordinate something that crazy. And, then here's the thing though. There's no, there's no issue if you break a secret with a friend. It's like...
But you break a secret with the government.
You just...
You die.
Yes, exactly. So maybe there's a little bit more of a concern. But yeah, this one's super interesting. And I don't know. I don't know. Everything government related is pretty interesting, and just is what it is. Anyway, we've rambled on long enough. It's such an oddball question, but I like to ask it because sometimes you get good conversation out of it.
Only imagine.
Or you get no, I'm not answering that because then the government will be watching me, and it's oh, you're way off the deep end.
You're off your fucking rocker.
I can't wait to hear this. We ran 2 hours and 50 minutes,
Shit,
Jake.
That's not bad at all.
So, I think we'll just call it there then.
I'm good with that.
We got bike events tomorrow, and I got a lot to do. So, all right, everyone, thanks for tuning in. Check out Jake on Instagram, and I don't know, follow GrindWorks or don't. I don't care. Later.